Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a video today to take a closer look at this 85 gram 4th generation prototype soccer cleat slash football boot. Now this is a very interesting shoe, mainly that they weigh 85 grams, which is totally crazy. If you guys missed my initial video that went up on these a couple days ago where I actually weighed them in real time, I'll leave an annotation on screen. You can go ahead and check that out. Kind of explains what these things are all about, but for the sake of this video, I'll get you up to speed if you don't know what's going on. I'm working with a company that will remain unnamed for the time being in developing what will be the lightest ever soccer cleat that doesn't use any plastic materials in its construction whatsoever. They have been sending me prototypes to test out. I test them, I share my feedback with them, and they make changes based on some of my feedback, which is a really cool experience for me. But what's cool for you guys is they're actually letting me show you guys each individual prototype, so you're getting to see the development of a soccer cleat from the start to what eventually will be a final product. It's a really cool thing that really hasn't been done before. It's the public development of a soccer shoe, if you will, at least to some degree. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is taking a closer look that we didn't get to see in the first video, because I've actually got some more permission to talk about some of the elements that have been changed on this 4th generation prototype that we haven't seen before in any of the previous generations. Now the first thing that's probably most notable about this particular shoe is that one, it's 85 grams, but it's how they were able to achieve such a lightweight construction. There is no plastic used in the construction of this shoe whatsoever. On previous versions, there were actually plastic studs. On this one, the studs aren't actually plastic. They're part of the sole plate, entirely one piece. And again, there's no plastic on this shoe at all. So with this, they're able to achieve that extremely light 85 gram kind of weight point, if you will. But the shoe is significantly stronger because of these more exotic, much stronger, more lightweight materials than what you're going to find on something like the 99 gram Adizero or even the EvoSpeed 1.4 SL from Puma that's mainly made from plastic and textiles. So the upper is made from a material that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I can assure you that it's not a standard plastic-based synthetic. This weave actually does have something to do with what the material actually is, and that's kind of as much as I'll say. It's extremely thin, as you guys can see by the side profile. So as you would expect from anything this lightweight, it's going to provide more of a barefoot kind of weightless sensation on your feet, and that's exactly what you get here. It's actually kind of shocking how thin they actually are. Different than anything else I've personally ever worn. Does take some getting used to, and in really cold weather conditions, probably not an ideal shoe unless you just really like thin shoes. But again, if you're looking for the thinnest possible shoe, these are definitely going to offer that when they finally do release, and really no word on an official release date yet. I've been getting a lot of questions on that. I just don't know, guys. It's still in the prototype phase, so there's no final product as of yet. There's no announcement date, really. It's still, like I said, in development. So the material, very thin, very soft and flexible. It's reminiscent of other thin synthetic shoes out there in terms of how soft and flexible it is, although it is a little bit thinner. And something that I know worries a lot of people, including myself, with any material that's this thin, is that it's going to lack responsiveness. It's going to roll over, it's going to stretch too much, and it's just not going to feel good when you're making quick changes of direction. And believe it or not, this material is very strong. And hold your foot in place really nicely when you do pull the laces tight. Laces run through the middle, as you guys can see, and it's a fairly deep lacing system as well, so you can get a nice secure fit on your feet. I know a lot of people have been asking about the width of this shoe. It's got some decent width to it. The idea here is for the shoe to fit as many people as possible, so it's not going to be extremely narrow like you might expect, and that's not really something that's necessary with a shoe this light. You could make them extremely narrow if you really wanted to, but it's kind of unnecessary, and hopefully the main goal here is to have a shoe that, like I said, will fit most people. Is it going to be extremely wide? Probably not, but like I said, it will fit most people if you're looking for this style of a soccer shoe. Low cut in the heel, no heel counter really. And that's kind of just the design choice to make the shoe as light as possible. This could change come the final product, of course. Insole, can't really show you guys, not really allowed to show you guys the inside of the shoe at all. And then the entire sole plate, pretty obvious what type of material this is. It is carbon fiber, very high quality and solid carbon fiber at that. A lot of people look at a shoe like the Nike Mercurial Superfly with its carbon fiber sole plate, and they think the entire sole plate's carbon fiber. that's not actually the case. With a shoe like the Superfly 4, you have a layer of carbon fiber to give it the look, but the majority of the actual sole plate is a plastic or a resin material just to kind of fill it in and give it actual structure. So the carbon fiber, while it is there on the Superfly 4, has little to do with the actual performance of the sole plate. This shoe, as you guys can see, is solid carbon fiber, no fillers. It's very thin and extremely flexible. I'm bending it pretty much as far as it can go. Your foot can't actually bend that much, and it feels extremely solid, especially in the forefoot here. That is the flexible area, whereas in the middle here, where you have this kind of Y-shaped stiffener, it is a lot more rigid. And it's a nice solid base underfoot, which is really, really nice. And it's surprisingly comfortable considering how light the shoe actually is. It doesn't feel as flimsy or as thin underfoot as what you're going to find from shoes like the 99 gram Adizero and EvoSpeed 1.4 SL. And then of course the stud pattern is the last thing that you guys can see, and what I can talk about is different from what we've seen on past variations of the shoe. The studs are now part of the actual sole plate, entirely one piece, as opposed to being kind of riveted in like we've seen on past models. They're a little bit shorter, but that's kind of to be expected. Very similar length to what you're going to find on the 99 gram Adizero, or even on the Adidas F50 Adizero Crazy Light, for those that remember that shoe, but they're more of a bladed shape, so they will grip the ground pretty decently, and it's an interesting layout. You can see you have these kind of two toe pick studs right at the very end of the shoe. You have two kind of studs right here, two more studs in the middle of the forefoot, and then two at the base of the forefoot, one support stud in the middle, and a standard 4-stud layout here in the back. So the idea is for these to be used on firm natural grass playing surfaces. So that is pretty much it as far as what I can talk about regarding this particular shoe. One other question I did get a lot of is, why is the upper so kind of wrinkly and stuff? Guys, these are in the prototype phase. This is still not a production shoe by any means, so the construction is going to be not perfect, I guess is the best way to put it. They do look a lot better on feet, I can assure you of that. Unfortunately, I can't actually show you that, but that's pretty much what I'm allowed to talk about. If you have any further questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and I'll try to answer what I actually can talk about in regards to this particular shoe. In the meantime, you guys can basically just wait around until I get the next prototype. Again, not sure when the final product is going to come about. It's still in the prototype phase, it's still in development, but hopefully we will see a final product relatively soon. Of course, I will keep you updated on this channel, and that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, or just interesting, be sure to support it with a like. Ask your questions, I'll try to answer what I can down below in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.